Bruh. 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 They hating on me. They don't want y'all to get these gems this morning. They don't want y'all to get this 6-figure gems this morning, B, but it's all good. Because I'm not going to quit. I'm gonna keep going. Matter of fact, share this with 10 people that you want to see make 6 figures this year. Share this live with 10 people that you want to see make 6 figures this year. And you can't, and make sure you do that, because you got to know that in order for you to reach your maximum potential, you have to help other people reach their maximum potential. No matter what it is that you're doing. And you have to be open. You got to be open to sharing everything that you got. You got to be open to sharing. Let's go to Zoom, at least where you at. As a fact. But for real though, I want to talk about this six figure business. How can you turn your passion into $100,000 a year or more? I've done it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't overnight. But I got some ideas that's gonna help you. You know, I just want to first let's start breaking this down as y'all come in. I know I'm stretching this out a little bit, right? Because I want y'all to share this. We need more people in here. We gotta share it. The more people that's working toward the same thing, the higher the synergy is on there, the faster we can all get to our goals. Okay, so I need y'all to share this, right? Let's start off with some simple math, though, because this is how I do strategy. This is how I break stuff down. I like to break it down. So if I got a goal of getting $100,000 a year, right, I need to make that tangible. See, people look at this number and they like, damn, man, I never had $100,000. I never made $100,000. That seems like it's hard to do, right? Let's divide that, right? Let's start breaking that $100,000 down. So $100,000 divided by 12. I gotta do some math here. I'm no mathematician. If somebody's faster in the chat, let me know. What's 100,000 divided by 12? $8,333. Okay, so that means every month, in order to hit that 6 figure, you need to be bringing $8,333. Okay, so we start off, we want to get $100,000 a year. We divide that by 12 months in a year. That means every month we need to be making $8,333. Now, that still might seem like a lot to do, right? Let's divide that into weeks. 4 weeks in a year divided by 4. Oh, I don't know what I just did. Okay, divided by 4. It's $2,803. Oh, $2,083. $2,083 a week. Okay, if you want to get to $100,000 in your studio, you need to be bringing in $2,083 a week. I don't know if this is backwards for y'all, because it looked backwards to me. Hopefully Instagram is turning it around for y'all. Okay, so we starting off with the goal of 100,000. We got 12 months in a year. That brings us to $8,333 a month we need to make, which means we need to be making a little bit over $2,000 a week. A little bit over $2,000 a week, okay? Is it starting to seem a little bit more manageable? A little bit over $2,000 a week, okay? Now, what can I do with that? Let's say how many days are in a week. If 7 days in a week, I'll let you rest 1 day, so let's divide that by 6, all right? So that $2,000, let's divide that by 6. That gets you $347 a day. So we'll just call it an even $350 per day. Okay? for 6 days a week. So if you want to turn your home studio business into $100,000 business, a 6-figure business, you need to be making $350 a day or $8,000 a month. Okay? So, Mark Wall said it's not shit when you put it like that. That's a fact, man. Look, $100,000 a year is $8,000 a month. That's $2,000 a week. It's $350 a day if you working only 6 days a week. $350 a day, and then you get a day off. And now you have a 6-figure business. Now, how can we get to $350 a day? Let's go to another tab. Let's start off the classic way that people think that we got to make money in the studio, and that's hourly studio session rates, okay? So let's say you got an hourly rate. Let's say that your hourly rate, see, and this is where a lot of y'all is going too far too, because some of y'all hourly rates is $60, $50, right? If I got it, and I'm talking about a home studio here. Home studio, I mean, you ain't really got to do too much, right? I mean, like, you ain't really got a lot of extra overhead outside of the rent or the mortgage that you already pay. It's in your home studio, all right? If I'm dropping gems, drop some copper badge. If I'm dropping gems, copper badge, right? So for $350 a day, right, in my home studio, if I want to work, let's say I want to book 10 hours a day, that means I can charge $35 an hour, which is a great price, right? So if I do $35 an hour, right, especially in the competition, like to where people around my the big studios around here, they charging $50, $60, $70, $80 an hour to record. So if I say, you know what, you can come record with me in my home studio for $35 an hour. $35 an hour in my home studio. I booked that out for 10 hours a day. I booked that out for 10 hours a day at $35 an hour, 6 days a week. I got $100,000, and that's just one. And that's just one plan. That's just one plan, right? So that shows you that it don't even take that much. It doesn't take that much. I can literally, and if you have more skills to where you can charge higher, if you can charge a higher amount because you have more skills, maybe you charge $45 an hour, okay? So let's see. So let me take my 350. I'm doing a little math on my computer. 350 divided by 45 equals, that's 7.7 hours, okay? So now we can work only 8 hours a day. Right. If you charge $45 an hour in your home studio, you can work 8 hours a day for 6 days a week. 8 hours a day for 6 days a week in your home studio and make $100,000 in your home studio. Okay. Y'all making this more complicated than it need to be. And that's just one stream. Right? That's just one stream of income. If I had such great rates, like $35 an hour in a home studio, and I'm putting out quality product, you can't tell me I can't keep that studio booked at least 5-6 days a week. Okay? You can't tell me I can't keep it booked at least 5-6 days a week. Now let's say, yo, Wavy, man, I work a full-time job. I can't really afford to right now to jump that transition, right? Cut it in half. Cut it in half. And then your $100,000, hopefully your full-time job, you making at least half of what you want to get, right? Maybe you're making $50,000 at your full-time job. So then that allow you to come home every day and spend 4 hours booked in your studio. After you work 8 hours at your job, you come put 4 hours in your studio. Now you're making an extra $50,000 a year. You make an extra $50,000 a year, okay? And that's one stream. That's just one stream of income. Shout out to y'all that's coming through buying badges. I appreciate that. Buying badges is validation for me. It's validating that y'all getting what I'm talking about. I charge $50 an hour, and I'm still $40 cheaper than most studios in northern New Jersey. There you go. So charging $50 an hour, if you market yourself right, and you build up a repeat clientele base, right? And then you think about it, right? So like when I first did this, I used to work at a school, at a college. And I got comfortable there teaching the recording and mixing at a college. And I would spend 8-10 hours there, 12 hours sometimes at that college. Then the school closed, right? And I was in a position, I'm like, okay, do I want to try to find another, kind of stability, another stable job? Or do I want to just literally do exactly what I just did here for y'all? I did exactly what I just did. I calculated how much money I needed to make in that year. I calculated it, how much money I need to make in the month. How much do I need to make in a week? Okay, now how many hours do I need to have booked in my studio to keep this going? Now that I know how many hours I got, once I'm going to start filling up my calendar as much as possible with people that want to record with me, that want to get mixes from me. And then any holes that I have, I'm calling people, I'm texting them. You have to get proactive about this. If your whole studio is not getting booked, call the people that you've worked with in the past. Keep them in, let them know. Stay in constant communication with your clients. You have to stay in constant communication with your clients. When I knew, all right, this month, let me see, I need to have, let me see, what did we end up breaking out? If we say, let's just say we was doing 40 hours, if we was doing $40 an hour, that means we need to work 8 hours a day, right? We need to be booked for 8 hours a day at $40 an hour to make the $100,000 mark that we want to get to. Yo, you might not want to make $100,000. You might want to make $60,000, right? You might be working a job right now that you're getting $40,000 for the year, right? So you do the calculation and say, okay, how many hours and what rate do I need to charge in my studio to replace that? You don't got to jump off and say, okay, I need to get to this $100,000 mark. Remember, it is scalable. So if you already working a job where you're taking $40,000 a year, why not figure out a way to scale that into your home studio business? Okay. So I literally broke it down this way. I said, okay, how many hours do I need to book for the month? How many hours do I need to have on my calendar for the month? And so I would literally call clients. I would text them, yo, if you want to get in the studio, maybe you cut them a deal. Since I'm calling you, yo, yeah, I need to get you in the studio deal. I got an 8-hour block. I'll get you for $400 or whatever it is, Also, the taxes take 30%. I don't know nothing about that. It's a write-off, bro. You talking about taxes? Taxes? I'm just playing. I pay all my taxes. But I learned how to play the tax game from the greatest leaders that we've had. Take cues from the leaders about taxes, okay? Why you flex on that with your mic locker? Man, look. I just wanted to show y'all. I just wanted to show. Okay, so look. Let's get back to this because y'all going to get into this microphone talk. And I want to talk money today. I want to talk this money today. I want to talk this money talk, man. So that's one way, right? Another way that y'all need to think about is getting clientele that you know are going to be repeating. Now, how do you get clients that you know are going to be repeat clients? Okay, and I've mentioned stuff like this before, but churches. Every community has a church. Every church has a band. Every church nowadays is live streaming. Every church, if they not live streaming, they need to be. Every church is recording their services. Every church has a podcast, right? And there's a church in every neighborhood. If your church does not have these services, You as a professional audio engineer can offer these services. A media producer, you can offer these services. So stop capping yourself in. So look, we just talked about how to make $100,000 straight off in the studio. Okay? But when some of those pockets are falling short, we need guaranteed income. We need contracts with companies. That's called B2B. B2B. If you know what B2B is, put it in the chat. What's B2B? If you know what B2B is, put it in the chat. Because when you do B2B, B2B is a whole, it gets you get a lot more money when you do B2B. When you got them B2B contracts, you get lump sums of money. You get repeating money. Y'all don't know what B2B is? B2B. I'm going to tell y'all what B2B is, man. B2B means business to business. B2B is business to business. So a lot of y'all working with only clientele, right? You're working with customers, right? So you're doing business to customers, right? You as a business, you know you can do business with other businesses. And guess what businesses need? Businesses need consistency. Businesses need repeat transactions. Businesses have to spend some of that money that they making. Businesses have to spend that money they making. And they got big budgets. Businesses have the budgets to pay that. So if you go to a business, say, hey, you know what? Any kind of business. It could be a church. It could be a school. It could be a barbershop, a beauty salon. It could be a mechanic. They all need some audio services, especially if you pitch it to them. I'm not just saying this stuff. I'm not just saying it. You could create a mobile podcast studio. Let's say you take about $1,000 to get that started. You buy a few microphones. You buy a little interface. You have a mobile podcast studio where you can go to the real estate office in your neighborhood and say, you know what? I'll come here to your real estate office 2 times a month, produce your podcast for you, which is going to help you to get more business. I can give you some insight on what you should do on that podcast, but it's going to help your business to grow by you having this podcast. Each episode of the podcast, just give me $500 to produce a 1-hour podcast. That's going to be recording it, editing it, and distributing your podcast for you. Give me $1,000 a month, 2 episodes. Let's lock in for 6 months. Try. That's a $6,000 check. That's a $6,000 check. Everybody is not going to work in. But like, look, I believe in the power of numbers. So you can go, that might work on one person, right? And then you go to another one and repeat the same thing and repeat it. And now, let's say you got six podcast contracts worth $6,000 each. That's $36,000. That's just for a 6-month term, right? That's just for a 6-month term. I'm telling you, it's money to be made. You got to think outside the box. That's one way. That's another way. So that's how you can get $36,000 to add on to whatever else you're doing in the studio. So let's say again, we back to our ratio that we got to hit that $350 a day. We got to hit $350 a day. And it's good to have a number like this, right? It's good to have a number in your head. So when you wake up in the morning, you have a direction. Knowing that number, $350 a day, knowing that number, it's like if you playing sports and you looking at the scoreboard. You got to be able to see the scoreboard to know whether you are winning or losing. You have to have a benchmark to know whether you're winning or losing. Some of y'all is out here playing and you never even looked up at the scoreboard. You got and the thing about being an adult is that The scoreboard is your bank account. Oh, man, look. The scoreboard is your bank account, man. The scoreboard is how much money you are bringing in. As long as that's your goal. Now, look, I'm not saying that's the only measurement of success. I'm not saying that. Winning the game ain't the only measure of success. Financially, it's not the only measure, right? But that's one way that you can measure your goals. What gets measured gets managed. What gets measured gets managed. If you are not looking at the numbers and making calculated moves to get where you know you want to go, then you're not going to get there. If you're not constantly reevaluating, measuring, looking at the numbers, recalculating, you're not going to get there. It's like a GPS. You put it in, you wake up in the morning and say, look, this is what I need. What do I need to get there? Okay. Yes, sir. My man made it through the snowstorm. Rain, sleet, snow, hail. We don't give a damn. It's snowing outside. It's icing outside. I cut my hand on the ice trying to get here this morning. But did I let that stop me? No. All right, so what we talking about again, man? All right, so we talked about doing the studio thing. We talked about doing the podcast thing. There's so much more. There's so much more. There's so much more. I don't even know if I don't even know if I should give y'all everything. Like, I mean, I don't even see enough badges in here. We got 6 badges. I guess I'm talking to myself today. Shout out to everybody that did buy badges, though. I see you. It is not going unseen. It's not going unseen. But we talking big money talk today. How to take your studio to $100,000. Your home studio. You can do tattoos. No. 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 I wouldn't advise that. I wouldn't advise that. I ordered something from Sweetwater yesterday. Hopefully it got shipped. You stormed. Well, look. Hopefully you use my my affiliate link. Otherwise, it didn't. It didn't get shipped yet. Shout out to y'all for buying the badge. All right. So affiliate programs is another way, right? Obviously, if you have a following on social media and stuff, but that's outside of the whole scope of things. Let's just get straight to what you can do inside your home studio. Lessons, right? You can do lessons, right? One of the things that I started doing in the studio when I was living in New York, my studio bookings had slowed down a little bit as a freelancer, right? And when you freelance and all your money comes on you booking clients. So back to what I was saying earlier, I had to be constantly involved with my clients, constantly talking to them, texting them, seeing what stage of the project they on. So I had to constantly be involved with them. But once I noticed a lull in the bookings of clients, once I noticed the lull, what I did was I started to do lessons in the studio. I offered lessons to like 10 people at a time. So, and I was still paying to book out the studio. So instead of me just paying to book out the studio for one client, now I got 10 people in here. I got 10 people in here and I'm teaching them, right? I'm teaching them how to record, teaching them how to mix inside the studio. Right? And this was way before YouTube or anything like that. But this is something that you can do, though. You can offer this stuff. AT bought another badge. AT&T, I appreciate you. This is something that you could do inside of your studio, your home studio. You can bring people in, students, youngsters. Now, you know what? I give recording and mixing lessons. Maybe you play the keyboard. Maybe you can play an instrument. You can offer lessons in that inside your home studio. That's another way to get to the 6-figure mark. And also expand your brand, y'all. We don't live in an era no more where doing one thing is going to be good enough, right? We live in an era where you got to do a lot of stuff. You got to do a lot. You got to diversify your skill set. You have to diversify your skill set. That means video production.
studio just to producers that ain't got that want to be your speakers.
Yeah. So my homie here, Jay, he said you can book your studio out to producers. Now, that's a good thing, like, right? Because I was going to bring that up earlier when I was talking about y'all, especially y'all if you work a job already. But specifically, that's not, I know that wouldn't work too well if you're a home studio.
Right, okay.
If you're a home studio, which is kind of where I was drilling at, but if you have your studio in a commercial space, then I think that's totally fine, right? To where you can share the studio, right? So let's say your studio rent, $500. You can only be there 4 or 5 hours a day because you have other obligations, right? How about you? And then, so your studio rent, $500. You can probably go find 2 producers or 2 other engineers and charge them $500 a month to use your studio too. So now you making $500 profit every month just by having that space, right? By subletting your space out. Now you guys say, yo, damn, if I'm only paying $500, why would I charge them $500? Because it's a business, right? Inside the business, they not just walking into an empty room. Your landlord is charging you that $500 a month for an empty room. I'm charging you $500 a month for access to a studio, or $1,000 a month for access to a studio or access to a business. So the pricing could be up to you. Honestly, if it's a nice studio, then how much? Maybe you want to charge them $1,000 a month to use it. Right? Because it's not just an empty room no more. So that's another way. And that's peer-to-peer, just like B2B, B2B. But that's B2B too, though. Because they should be a business, right? They should, as an audio engineer, you should be operating as a LLC. You should be operating as an LLC, and everything that you're doing is a business. Whether you're freelancing, whether you're doing it out your home or whatever, you should have that set up as a business. I got my commercial studio in the small. I rent out my other room. Yeah. When I was working at the school, that's what I was doing. Because I had to be at the school 8, 10, 12 hours a day sometimes. My studio was just sitting there. I was like, nah, ain't no need of me just having it sitting here. You know what? Let me get a few people. I had like 2 to 3 engineers and producers that I trust. Some of them just wanted to make beats. Some of them actually were bringing clients in and they were, recording and using the equipment when I wasn't there. That's fine. I trust them. We have an agreement. We work on scheduling of Google Calendar. And basically, I'm able to make money while I'm somewhere else making money. Sorry, I just popped in. Are you talking about leasing out studio space? I'm talking about how to make $100,000 in your studio. How to turn a home studio into a $100,000 business. Okay, here's the blueprint. We break it down, take it back to the beginning. Because we don't like to see. We see 100,000, we're like, damn, that's a lot. It is. You break it down, $100,000 divided by 12, that's $8,333 a month. You divide that, again, that's $2,083 a week. That's $350 a day. Okay. And again, you got to be checking the scoreboard. You got to check your scoreboard. One of the main things, when I was down bad, one of the main things that I never did was count how much money I had. I never wanted to go and look in my bank account when I knew that it possibly was negative or overdrawn. I never wanted to look at that. Right? It was depressing to see that, to see the score, to know you only got $23 left. It was depressing, right? So you don't want to see it. So you don't check the score no more, and you stop looking up at the scoreboard, and eventually you out the game. Or you start looking at the scoreboard and you make adjustments, right? You call a timeout. Like, you know what? Timeout. We need to huddle up. Y'all see the scoreboard? That's not going to get us the win. That's not going to get us to the championship. What we need to do, we need to pivot. We need to come out with some different plays. We need to do something else. So if you need to call a timeout on yourself at halftime, if you need to get in a huddle, get in the locker room with yourself. But the only way you're going to know that is if you actually looking at the scoreboard and being honest. All right, cool. What are your goals? And it don't have to be a monetary goal. It could be any type of goal that you have. But you have to have a way to measure it. You have to have a way to measure it and constantly be checking that measurement. You got to have a way to measure it and constantly be checking it. You know? And if you LeBron, you don't think LeBron just don't check the score at the beginning of the game and then all right 0-0 and then just play and then I'm gonna look at the score again once the final buzzer is over. No, we gotta constantly be looking at the score. You gotta constantly be looking, constantly be measuring, constantly making adjustments. Right? The score tells you if what you're doing is working or it's not working. Do I need to change up my approach? Do I need to do something different? Man, the score will tell you easily if what you're doing is working or not working. And for a lot of us, fuzzy goals equal fuzzy results. Absolutely. You got to be real accurate. You got to be real visual with what you want. You know? So that's why I say my goal used to be, I used to have a goal of $100 a day. And that's a good goal. I would say, I was like, look, man, no matter what, I got to make $100 a day.
Was it make $100 or put up $100?
Yeah, it was just at least make $100.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just at least make $100 a day. Make $100, no matter what, I'm going to find a way to make $100 today. So that was my goal. And I had a goal, though. The important thing, it ain't what your goal is. The important thing is really having a goal. That's more important than anything. Regardless of what your goal is, everybody going to have different goals. Your goal don't have to be my goal. Remember, I used the $100,000, the six figure. I use that as an example because I know it's catchy, right? It sounds good. Six figure, $100,000. It sounds good. But if you working a job right now and you getting $30,000, you can use this same formula to replace that job. Let's see. You know what? Let's do this math. Let's just say we got a $40,000 a year job, right? That's pretty good. That's decent. You got $40,000 a year job. If we divide that by 12, that's $3,333 a month. If we divide that by 4, that's $833 a week. Let's divide that. That's by 6 again because we work 6 days a week. I don't know who got y'all in this mindset of working 5 days a week and stuff. When you on the grind, you can't afford to work 5 days a week. That's $138 a day. Okay. So to make $40,000, you only need to make $138,000 a day. I mean, what kind of math was that? My math was not mathing. Just, oh man, oh man. So to make $40,000, you need to make $138 a day. Now, let's divide that $138 a day. Let's divide that by 8. Let's just say, because let's say you want to work 8 hours a day, right? You can charge $17 an hour in your home studio and still make 40 grand. So so some of y'all, this might be the time that you thinking, damn, maybe I'm charging too much in my home studio. This is why I cannot get it booked. This is why I can't keep people booked. You can make 40 grand a year in your home studio, charging only $17 an hour, working 8 hours a day. Okay? So if you out here charging $60 an hour and you can only get 2 hours or 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a week, then that might be the problem, you know? maybe cut the throat of the competition. You know, like, you know what? I'm cold at my skills. I know what I'm doing. I can undercut the competition by charging $20 an hour. Let's do the math, man, because it's mathematics. $20 an hour. If I can book, let's just say I only book 6 hours a day. Okay, that's going to get you $120 a day. Times that by 6. That's $720 a week. Well, times that by 4. 2,880. Well, times that by 12. $34,500. And that's just working 6 hours a day in your studio at $20 an hour. And you'll get $34,500, okay? Y'all making it more complicated than it is. Some of y'all overcharging and you underbooked. Some of y'all are overcharging, you're underbooked. Your pricing is part of your branding, though. Yeah, that's what Walmart, everyday low prices. Think about Walmart, one of the biggest companies in the world. Everyday low prices. That's all they doing. They not trying to be Gucci. They ain't trying to be Louis. They give you some quality stuff. Because, come on, if y'all, don't tell me you don't go to Walmart. Don't tell me you don't go to Walmart. They got all the name brands at Walmart. Everyday low prices. So you're right. Your price is part of your brand. But some of y'all think about brand when you need to be thinking about bands. Think about brand. Start thinking about them bands. Man, I'm telling you, you know. Don't make it harder than it is, y'all. That's all I want you to see is that if you break it down, you do simple mathematics. I don't even know what's on this paper. You break it down and do simple mathematics, you could be charging as little as $17 an hour in the studio. You can be charging as little as $17 an hour a studio for 8 hours a day and make 40 grand a year, okay? Somebody said, let Jesus run your bands up. I feel you. But and I know the Bible say faith without works is what? Faith without work is dead. Okay? You dead on that. Faith without works is dead. So yes, you can believe. You have to believe. You have to believe because sometimes you're not going to see the whole thing. You have to believe. You definitely have to have faith. So you have to believe. You got to have your faith. But you got to get to work. You got to get to work. Somebody was like, man, look, somebody said at one point, I want God to catch me working, man. I want God to catch me working. Look, man, God, I got faith and all that. You gonna save us. Well, I'm gonna be working in the meantime. Catch me in the act, you know. Catch me working, man. Faith without works is dead. And you have to have faith in your work. You got to have faith that your work is going to lead you to what your goals are. All right. So you see, it's like I look at this whole thing like GPS, man. I love this GPS analogy because that's what goal setting is to me. It's the same thing as me putting in when I jump in my car and I open up. They say preach TD Wave. Yo, y'all too funny, man. This stuff is all about the goal setting is like the GPS, man. And when I get in my car and I put in where I want to go, all right, I say, you know what, I want to go to the mall. I put the exact address in, the coordinates, right? I start driving. I might be getting distracted. I'm talking, making wrong turns along the way. Might stop, get something to eat. The GPS is going to keep rerouting me, changing the direction. But at the end of the day, it's going to get me to my destination, right? Because I'm still doing the work. I'm still heading. And I have faith that the GPS is going to lead me to where I want to go. I've never been there before. I got faith that that Google thing is right. I got faith that Google ain't going to lead me off the side of the road, right? Because I put my destination in, right? So I set my destination by writing my goals out, making it clear. And then I do the work to get there, right? No matter how many times I got to get rerouted, how long it take me, I do the work to get there. and we're gonna make it. We're gonna get there, but you have to first set the goal. You got to set the goal. You got to break it down so that it's understandable to your brain, so that your brain can comprehend it. If you never seen $100,000, your brain may not be able to comprehend $100,000. I'm just saying. Your brain may not be able to comprehend what it takes to make $100,000. So, understand the $350 a day. Understand $35 an hour. You can understand that. You can understand that. And then, it's going to get up there, okay? I'm going to go to the comments now. Because I think I'm going to pass the... Matter of fact, let me pass the collection plate. Since y'all call me TD Waves, the badges is the collection plate. Let me pass this collection plate around. Shout out to everybody that's already buying badges. Also, the collection plate is going to be you sharing. Okay, music by Yo. So I have a few questions about the Pro Tools course. Is it updated to the latest version of Pro Tools? Will we learn to mix in the course, and will we get a Pro Tools Ultimate Perpetual license upon certification? Okay. Those are very good questions. Yo, the course is based on Pro Tools 2020.3. The course does teach some mixing techniques, but is more software based than actual technique. Than actual like mixing technique based. But yes, there are sections of the course that demonstrate mixing techniques and how they can be applied in Pro Tools. As far as getting an Ultimate Perpetual license, nah, I'm sorry about that. Avid is they don't want to do that. But that's it. That. Hopefully that answered your question. Thank y'all for buying badges. Keep on passing that collection plate around. You can get some merch into your collection plate. That's a fact. You know, that could be another stream of income. I know we've talked before about once you have the clients come into the studio, offering them more services. So, and also like a big tip that y'all can do. Once you get a client in your studio, get them to book the next session before they leave. Get them to book the next session. And you do this by explaining to an artist that's like, hey, man, honestly, you've been only coming to the studio once a month, once every other month or something like that. Like, your career is never going to go where you want it to go with that level of inconsistency, okay? All of the greats, every major artist that I've worked with are in the studio 5, 6, 7, 8 days a week. They're in the studio every day, making songs every single day. I bet you Drake don't let a day go by that he does not record something. I've seen this happen. These artists, they are relentless in their craft, okay? You need to find artists that are like that. You need to tell your artists about this so that they know, like, hey, man, your once a month studio sessions, that's not going to get you to be a top tier artist. You have to be in the gym shooting every single day. To get to the NFL, to get to the NBA, you have to do this every single day. You got to practice every day. You got to train hard. Damn, if you think Tom Brady only plays football on Sundays, then you're a fool. Tom Brady don't just play football on Sunday. My man's is playing, thinking, strategizing about football every single day. That's why he's one of the greatest. The greatest. All right? You have to be doing this. So you tell your clients this. You present this to your clients probably in a nicer way than I'm saying it. You find some softer words to use if that's how you talk to your clients. But you find some nicer words to use. And you explain to them that the consistency is key. And before they leave that session, they really should be thinking about when their next session is going to be. They really need to be booking with you 2 to 3 times a week. They need to really be seeing you at least 5, 6, 7 times a month. Right? And by teaching your clients that, teaching them, educating them, you're also getting them to come back. And it's not like you can do this with full confidence and openness because it's true. It's true. The top artists in the game, they're not just doing it once a week even. Okay? I'm saying for real, send me some merch. Yes, sir. Let me get a feature. Okay. Man, You hiring though? I'm a visual learner. Hiring and learning don't go together. Hiring and learning don't go together. Volunteering and learning go together. You know? You gotta remember that too. How can I fix my bounces? Every time I bounce as an MP3, it gives me static noise after the bounce, but not bounced as WAV files. I'm not sure. That could be a few different things. I'm not sure about that problem. How to make a decent home studio for myself. I got a few videos on YouTube about how to set up a proper home studio. Oh, thank you, Money Maker Nero. Hey, Wade, I just got my bachelor's at University of Cincinnati in media production. And what do you recommend if the city you in doesn't have many studios? There are like 3 in the area. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like if the city that you in don't have a lot of studios, you might be in a unique opportunity to create something, right? Now, but what you need to figure out is like, what is the business like in that area? Is there a need? Is there a need? And if there is a need and there's a shortage of facilities, then you have found yourself in a great place. Do I need an intern? I think so. They don't want to hire because I have a degree. I have my own studio, but I have a hard time booking people. Okay. So the studios, you saying, okay, so you just graduated in media production and they don't want to hire you because you have a degree. LJ Smooth. How am I saying? But all right, now how do we book people? How do we book clients? Social media is a great way. Getting out to open mics and networking. Some of y'all is scared to talk to people. And I get it because I've been there before. But luckily I was in a situation where I kind of started off my career early and I positioned myself because I knew, look, you got to know yourself. To thine own self be true. Now, what does that mean? Know yourself and treat yourself accordingly, right? So I have to be true to myself. I knew that I wasn't very much of a people person. So when I started my career, I was like, all right, let me position myself to where I can get in with big names and get some big names on my resume. So how can I do that? I'm going to go and intern at the largest studio I know. So I went to Quad NYC, right? Quad Studios in New York. And I was like, you know what? Let me just get an internship. Even as an assistant, right? I can start to build up some credibility by getting big names on my resume, right? Getting names of people that everybody know, love, and respect that I've worked with, right? And I can do this by just starting off as an intern at a place where they go. So I did that. And then I positioned myself, and then it's easy after that. Oh, I didn't work with X, Y, and Z. I've already worked with X, Y, and Z. So look, I don't really got to say too much. I put that on my Instagram bio, put it on my website, put it on my business card or whatever, and now I can book. Now is if people want to work with me, and then I'm also sharing that the whole time, right? How can I push P in the studio? You talking about that Finny? That'd be a different live. How did you get an internship? To get my internship, I created a resume. I sent it to the studio manager at Quad. Then once I did that, I called and asked to speak with the person who's in charge of hiring interns at the studio. When I had them on the phone, I let them know, and this was while I was still at Full Sail, but the conversation went something like this. Hi, what was her name? I forgot her name. It don't matter what her name was. But I basically called her up and said, hey, what's up? I'm a student at Full Sail right now. I graduated in about 6 months. When I graduate, I'm interested in interning at your facility. You know, I have training on this, and that. I'm super eager to learn. I'm down to do whatever y'all need me to do. I'm actually, and then I said, you know what? And I'll actually be there on my own dime, mind you, right? I'll actually be there in about a month. Is it a way that I could set up a studio tour and come and meet you and introduce myself in person? Oh, sure, Tatiana. That's her name, Tatiana. She's like, yeah, sure, wait, come on up, just we'll set up a date and then you can come and meet me and interview. So, I did that. The whole time I was just shooting her email, hey, we're about a week away. I'm excited to come learn there, just treating it like I've already got the position. And then when we had a little breakout from classes at Full Sail, I took my little stipend money and instead of pushing P with it, I bought a flight. And I went to New York with my homie for a couple of days. We stayed in like a hostel, but we went and visited studios. Took them our resumes, had interviews with the studio managers, and let them know what our intentions was. Right, and of course secured the internship just by being proactive. So find the studios, like that's a great way to go in. Find studios that have the clientele that you want to work with, that have the clientele that you want to be around. Intern there, infiltrate the system, man. Infiltrate the system. All right, let's just get in. Shout out to everybody that's buying badges. Shout out to y'all for sharing. Okay, push the Potec knob. So that's how you get interns, all right? ATT, I see you got 3 badges now. Your joint is glowing. When you get 3 badges, your joints start glowing and all that. All right. Hey, Wavy, can I volunteer? That's quite possible. And, listen, anybody who's looking to work, you want to do some work with me or anything like that, interns, shoot me an email with your resume and a cover letter that explains, what it is that you want to, that you have to offer. Also, what it is that you are seeking, cover letter, resume. Shoot it to me in my email. I'm always open to explore things, I'm always open, But yeah, 6K home studio, that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? There's so much other stuff we can do. If you're a singer, songwriter, beat maker, or anything like that, there's so many other ways to make money. But so far, we were just talking about the home studio recording and mixing aspect, right? How to bust down that $100,000 and turn it into a number that's a whole lot more manageable, and then realize how many hours worth of work and at what cost we need to do it to get there. And that's just for one stream of income, right? So, and again, that might be a little much for you if you already have a full-time job. So even if you chop that in half, you could be making an extra $50,000 on top of your full-time job. You could be making an extra $50,000 in your home studio every year, just by doing the bookings, doing the same thing I just did in half the amount of time. Right? Same formula. So it's all about just setting your goal, realizing what it is that you want there, and then executing, reevaluate, and then execute again. Reevaluate means look at the scoreboard. Are we up? Are we behind? And then continue to execute or change your strategy but always continue executing. Execute, reevaluate. It's a cycle of execution and reevaluation. All right? Well, that's after your goal has been set. So you don't change the goal. You might change the way that you get there. You might get rerouted. Again, GPS is the same thing. Where I need to go don't change. Once I put a goal in, that don't change. What might change is the route that I'm taking to get there. The time that it might take me to get there might change. But the actual goal never changes. All right? Remember that. The goal, you set your goal. Make it clear. Don't change your goal. Change your intensity. Change your direction. Change your damn whatever execution you doing. Change your method. After you reevaluate and you say, oh, we're not getting closer to the goal or we're not getting there fast enough, you can change anything but the goal, all right? I got to get to work. I appreciate y'all coming through, tapping in with me. Let's do this again tomorrow. Y'all dope. Thank you, everybody, for buying badges. I hope you take heed to this conversation. Look at my man, AT00 LSD. Learn. What? I don't know how you got to LSD, AT&T. Shout out to all the badge supporters, though, man. Y'all dope. Thanks for everybody that shared this live and supported. I'll be back tomorrow. Peace.